Hi, all. So today I have Chris with me, and today we're going to be discussing the Winter 21 Salesforce Release Readiness highlights. Obviously, we're not going to be talking about everything because there's a lot of changes happening. However, we are going to talk about a few points and topics that we thought were worth discussing. So back in late September, the Salesforce Release Readiness went live previewing all of their new releases. All of these changes will be coming to you by mid-October. However, it does depend on how you use your org and your role and how those changes will affect you. Also, some of these changes will happen automatically, and some of them will require an administrator to set those up for you, or you'll need permission. And then additionally, depending on if you use Classic or Lightning, that does affect some of these features. So let's just dive right into what's going to come into your org. Chris, what are some of the topics you want to talk about today?
Yeah, some of the changes that I'm most excited about are improvements to Einstein and AI. As a Salesforce Einstein champion, I get excited about anything that makes it a little bit easier for people to start playing in the world of artificial intelligence. There's some changes coming to reports, both in terms of creating them and viewing them, that are exciting. Email templates, building email templates inside Lightning, inside Salesforce is getting a lot easier, and that's going to be a huge benefit to a ton of people. And there's something called Experience Cloud that I was like, what's that? So we'll take a look.
Perfect. Okay, so let's just start talking about the Einstein setup improvements.
Yeah, let's share some release notes here. First up, it's Einstein bots and Einstein Discovery are both getting, oh, that's the wrong screen. Here we go. Einstein Discovery and Einstein bots are both getting setup guides to make it easier to get up and running without having to do too much heavy lifting on your own. This is what it's going to look like. So Einstein bots, as you probably know, are the chat bots that you can use with Einstein service. So help you talk to customers, capture relevant information, route them to the right service agent, all before you actually have to have a physical person talk to them. So a great tool for saving your support staff's time, improving the customer experience. And now they've added this little guided setup so you can build a bot either following essentially like a wizard that will take you into a bot template, or starting from scratch if you're already familiar with it. Einstein Discovery is getting a little bit of the same features with these fast start templates. It's a little bit more involved with Einstein Analytics because you have to, move your Salesforce data into your data lake. The fast start template is going to allow you to do that without needing third-party tools. So it'll improve the process and should make it a little less scary for people that aren't familiar with terms like data lake, and non-data scientists should be able to start getting into Einstein Analytics and harnessing AI in a way they couldn't before. So that's exciting.
That is, especially with COVID going on right now. I feel like bots are more needed than ever when helping your customers with their experience.
Yeah. And personally, I definitely prefer when I'm shopping online and I have a question, I like when the little chat window starts out with a bot, because a lot of times the bot can answer my question and I don't have to actually talk to somebody.
Agreed. Yeah, that saves so much time.
Yeah, I don't need anybody to know how silly the questions I'm asking are.
Alrighty then. Well, why don't you tell us what's changing for reports?
Yeah, a couple cool changes to reports. First up, the ability to get reports delivered by email. So now you'll be able to subscribe email addresses to reports that will then be directly accessible in your inbox. So here's a report in an inbox, completely removing the need to log into Salesforce to access the report. I think one of the most exciting things about that is if you had any users who had licenses just so they could access reports, like let's say you have, your C-suite executives need access to certain dashboards and reports to keep track of what's going on in the business, but they don't actually enter any data or do any work in Salesforce themselves. Now you can have those reports emailed to them without needing to get them a license. They don't need to, you don't need to teach the CFO to log into Salesforce and how to navigate to reports. You can just email it straight to their inbox and they're good to go.
Man, that saves so much time on
Yeah.
both ends.
Yeah. And the other cool thing is the ability to auto add fields to custom report types. So, you've got your reports that you've been using for the last 5 years as a business. And then every time you make a change and you say like, oh, we're going to start capturing this data, but we need to report on it. What that used to mean is then going into all of your reports and adding that custom field that you've just added to every single report. But now from the setup, both of the field itself and the report setup screen, you have the ability to automatically add those new fields you're creating right to the reports where they're relevant. So you don't have to manually go through and keep a list of here's all the new objects I created today. Let me figure out which reports to add them to. So this is going to be a real time saver for admins, and should make people a little bit less resistant maybe to adding new fields. Because I know admins sometimes are like, hey, I know you guys want that data, but managing that is going to be a pain, and figuring out where it's missing in all our existing reports is hard. So this should relieve a lot of that pressure.
Yeah, I know a lot of coworkers at MK Partners are going to be very happy about this new feature.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this next topic, I feel like you and I are personally going to be much more excited about, just because we do a lot of marketing work. So what's new for the email templates?
Yeah, so email template building in Lightning is getting way better, way more modern. So now instead of having to code in the HTML yourself, and honestly, that usually just involved admins copying and pasting, now you'll be able to compose HTML templates right inside Lightning. So sort of the same tools you have inside Pardot for crafting professional, engaging emails are now going to live in Lightning, which should give your sales reps, your service reps a lot more ability to customize, or like you said, marketing users like us, the ability to craft messaging that we can be proud of all inside the platform, instead of, again, having to copy and paste the HTML code from wherever we're building it externally.
Oh, thank God. Can I get like an amen?
Yeah.
Alrighty. And then the last topic I want to discuss with you is Experience Cloud. What is it?
Experience Cloud. What is it? It is a new name for Community Cloud. So little sigh of relief there. It's not a new Salesforce license you have to buy. They're just changing the name because Community Cloud, does so much more than just communities. It's, like they say here, portals, help centers, forums, sites, apps. Communities, I think, they were afraid it was kind of limiting people's imagination in terms of what they were thinking they could do with the system. So Experience Cloud should help people sort of get more creative in their applications, which I think is something that is, very welcome. We've seen a lot of projects where we use Community Cloud that on the surface they're not communities. It's a web page, or it's a frequently asked questions forum, or a tool for connecting internal assets with external users. So I think Experience Cloud, probably a good name change. They're gonna keep using the term Community Cloud for a while longer in the app because they don't want to throw anybody off. But it's just good to keep in mind that you're going to see Experience Cloud as the messaging moving forward, and it's not something new. It's just a new name for the same great tool.
Wow. Okay. That is such a relief, honestly. Well, thanks again, Chris, for discussing some of the topics of Winter's 21 release highlights with me. For those of you out there viewing this video, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for more Salesforce-related content and for some MK Partners content.
Yep. Thanks, Caylin. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.